YouTube, what it do? Is your boy Benji, and we are back in between the ropes. But look, I gotta tell you one thing. I did it. I gave in. Look, can y'all be mad at me? I gave in. I said, let me lock in. If you don't know what I mean, man, we love all things entertainment this way, and we love professional wrestling. We've been checking out WWE, and I ain't gonna lie, I've provided my input on how up and down we've been in regards to where the WWE's been. But at the end of the day, it's been a lot of bad. It's been a lot of down. I said, let me check out what's going on. I was scrolling through my streaming softwares and I saw that AEW had a show going on. I said, you know what? I like wrestling. Let me check it out. AEW Dynamite. I've been seeing a lot of clips of AEW, of course, online. And this was a 300 episode, so I said, let me check it in. Not gonna lie. I'm just get straight to the show. Okay? I'm just get straight to the show and I'm gonna provide y'all my opinion. Show opens off. And I ain't gonna lie, they in Ontario, California, crowd was ready. Crowd was hype. Crowd was lit. HANGMAN PAIGE opened up the show, and he got straight to it, man, saying that he was willing to do a lot. He was willing to die. He was willing to die if he was gonna let the opportunity pass him up to challenge Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. And he challenged Moxley and all of the Knight Riders. Knight Riders is really crazy. I don't know why I said that. The Dev Riders to show up to the ring. Moxley's not playing around. Crowd passed him in the back hallway, and I'll let y'all know one thing that I was able to easily notice watching AEW. This episode had a lot of matches that were titled Heroes versus Villains, and they were doing a collaboration sponsoring Superman, where they even had a lot of the actors doing promo shout-outs and call-outs with the wrestlers. But watch this episode, I'll definitely let y'all know. It was very easily apparent who were the bad guys, who were the heels, and who were the faces. It was very obvious. So that's something that I could say is a breath of fresh air. As soon as the camera panned to Moxley, crowd's booing. And I can't even lie, they were savage. Moxley was getting STFU chants early. He did, in some sense, admit to Hangman being solid, but he had to let him know, brother, you're pretty good. You're able to do a lot of things. You're able to accomplish a lot. You're able to get right here. But getting the AEW championship is at this level, and you just ain't got that. And I like that. And, of course, it doesn't take very long for this to turn into an all-out fight. These guys get to rumbling, and the numbers game easily starts to compound upon Mr. Paige. Mox gets out of there pretty quick, and some of his boys do as well after dumping Paige right on their head. But Paige lets everybody know the problem was you left him standing. And you dang sure shouldn't did that. Why does the guys try to return to the ring after being baited by Hangman? The ops show up, and they try to even out the numbers game. These guys are the World Trio Champions, which I actually find pretty refreshing as well. We got a tag team of 3 that's allowed to be champions. I like that. I thought it was hilarious, though, that Moxley left Marina in the ring. And I ain't gonna lie, I will salute AEW as well, because I was able to pick up a lot of names pretty quickly. He left her in the ring with a briefcase. And I ain't gonna lie, I should have seen this coming. Hits her with a crazy buckshot lariat, and she's laying down flat on the floor. Paige ain't playing no games. I love it that anybody can get it. And right after we watch a Superman promo with the actors are playing Lois Lane and Timeless Toni Storm, Miss Tony walks right into the ring, which I ain't gonna lie, I do like her presentation as well. I mean, of course, they grab the screens, and I really can see that she's going for that Marilyn Monroe thing. Like, she's really timeless, you know what I mean? She actually shows up with like a little butler, and she's at the table with a plate full of food and drinks. She's getting that treatment. Anyways, she shows up to watch Mercedes Moné put her TBS championship on the line against Mira. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna butcher a lot of these Japanese names. SHIRAKAWA, I think is what it was. Anyways, this match was good. I can't even lie. The CEO knows how to put together a match. And Toni Storm, which is watching, like she was literally lifeless the entire time, locked in on the match. But these women went off. I ain't gonna lie. We had a bunch of outside the ring DDTs. We had an outside the ring Meteora from the CEO, and we had a lot of crazy knee strikes and kicks. Like I ain't gonna lie, they were eating some heavy hitters. I was like, oof. I was wincing about watching this. I ain't gonna lie. And I ain't gonna lie, the crowd was hot and alive early, getting behind these women. Every time they took a chance to pause, acknowledge the crowd, we got that. We got some of the boos when Mercedes tried to do what she was doing, but we had a couple CEO chants as well. The crowd was fighting about who they wanted to cheer for. I will say, even though there were some dope spots outside the ring, it was some strange like camera shots that got held really, really long, and it was like up and close. I thought that was a little weird. Like especially throughout the show, I would mention there was a couple strange like angles that we got from the cameramen. So production wise, that was kind of strange. But I'm gonna knock it. Like, but specifically during this match, there was a couple shots that got held super long to make me even think that I was like, it's only one camera that they're videotaping this match with. So, anyways, like I said, some super crazy strikes. This one I was like, yo, this is concussion worthy right here. This kick looked good. But then the CEO tries to put Shorty in the moneymaker, if I'm not mistaken, and then after a quick reversal, leading to a roll up, she reverses the roll up and pins Mira. She starts to get to whooping on Mira after the match, and Miss Storm comes in to try to save the day, which leads to Mercedes running away with however many belts that she's getting. And then she sneak attacks Storm, right? And hit her in the back with a belt. And she lets the crowd know. As she walks away from the ring, she's talking straight to the cameraman. Time is up. She's about to collect another belt. So, Miss Storm, you better watch your days. Count them. We then had a pretty dope match between MJF, AR Fox, Anthony Bowens, and Brody King. Brody King was obviously the hometown favorite here, and a lot of the crowd was getting behind this dude. And another thing I'd like to point out is that there are very evidently a lot of unique characters here in AEW. Like, a lot of dudes are easily recognizable by their aesthetic and even the way they portray themselves. And we don't seemingly have like a lot of guys that are the exact same guy. From my point of view, day one, there's a lot of nuances, but amongst the characters that seem to be having certain different motives and different driving factors. I also thought it was dope that I started to notice too that they had a lot of the people's records under their name. So tag teams, singles records, etc. That was dope to see too. There was definitely some dope sequences here. I mean, Big Boy was out here hitting these rolling sentons into the corner. Or these like senton powerbomb. Oh, I don't even know what you call them, but shoot, they were dope. To the point where we got to see all three of these boys piled up in the corner, and they hit them. Boom! Splash. Again, it's very easily noticeable who is the bad guys, and MJF is the bad guys. The dude shows up to the ring with a Burberry scarf. And like I've seen that like photos or whatever online, but I thought it was like I don't know. I thought it was a meme. I didn't know this guy was actually serious. That's what he does. He even starts the match off trying to bribe these dudes to take a fall. Literally pulls money out and trying to bribe them. I thought it was hilarious. And after the match gets underway, he's like running away from everybody. Literally all of them are trying to attack this guy in the beginning of the match. So I thought it was dope. Yeah, AR Fox, dude. This dude's moveset was crazy though. I mean, this dude hits Big Boy with a 450. Which actually Brody kicked out of. That was insane. But there was even a dope like senton that he pulled. Hitting like right off the ropes to the outside of the ring. That was crazy. There were definitely some entertaining spots too, like some stuff that makes the crowd happy. There was a spot where everybody in the ring did a cutter. Well, that was what it was. I mean, like I said, MJF was really entertaining. We got to see a zoom in on his face in the midst of him getting choked, which was dope. But for some strange reason, Anthony Bowens breaks this up. Brody didn't take too kind to this, and later in the match, he hits a crazy brain buster on Bowens, bro. Like, I'm telling you, some of these moves, I'm like, are they alive? Like, so, these guys are pros, for sure. AR Fox splits it up with a diving, like, headbutt or whatever. And it doesn't take very long, because as soon as he hits the ground, MJF sneaks back into the ring and puts it right into a submission. And AR Fox taps in no time which leads to MJF securing a spot in the gauntlet match. His celebration doesn't last too long because Mark Briscoe showed up and he was energized, spirited even. Dude had a shirt that said MJF has a small pickle. That was dope. That was funny. And they panned to some people in the crowd that had pickle signs, pickle MJF signs. He then, for some strange reason, challenged MJF to the ring, but he wanted to talk smack to him without the Hurt Syndicate being present, which, cool. So after he lets MJF know he's going to do them next week, Jet Speed, which is, I guess, Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey, they shoot out to the stage and immediately confront the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin particularly. But these guys are literally bandaged up. They hobbling, and the Hurt Syndicate start putting these boys to the floor. But I thought it was interesting because as the Hurt Syndicate seemingly handles business, walks out of the ring, these guys get on the mic and like, you left us here. So these boys are not going to stop from diminishing a little bit more pain. So they slide right back to the ring, powerbomb, and Dominator straight to the mat. It's brutal looking. However, these boys are defiant, and they continue to call out to Benjamin and Lashley to put them down for good. So, again, y'all think Lashley and Shelton Benjamin some hoes? Nah, they're not going for that. So they slide right back to the ring and ring in. And they put the boys right to the mat again. Eventually, my boy gets right back on the mic, and I think it was Knight. He challenged Shelton Benjamin to a singles match at Collision. Which you would think is crazy, being that this dude literally just ate like 3 power bombs, and he's already got bandaged ribs. But Hurt Syndicate's like, whatever. A good flurry of scenes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not mad at it. Again, I do like everyone's positioning here. MJF again, a bad guy. I was glad to even see him in the midst of the match grab a couple chairs and hit people with chairs in the middle of the match. Fatal 4-way. Why not? Get every possible advantage you can. Later in one of the Heroes and Villains matches, we see the Young Bucks, who in a video presentation prior, they showed up in a limousine that was apparently bought with Tony Khan's money. Not anything from their pockets, but, you know, they're the founding fathers. They've been there. They're OGs. They get to do things that other people can't do. They get to ride around their hometown. I mean, they're not too far away in Rancho Cucamonga, and they reminisce. I can't lie, though. This match was crazy. I mean, this is one of the matches that even got the crowd to chant. This is awesome. Because it was. We had the Young Bucks and TAKESHITA versus BANDIDO, who was actually the ROH, the Ring of Honor champion. And then they had Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly of the Paragon. Like I said, this is a crazy match. All these dudes have crazy chemistry, and like every second of this match was riveting. And I'm not gonna lie, it was still pretty well paced for all the craziness that you got going on in the ring. I mean, we saw some crazy spots, you know, suplexes, dropping knees, you know, pop-up power bombs. And we saw this crazy moonsault follow-away slam. Like, literally crazy. But then this was even crazier, man. This tag team combination move, bro, with this little pop-up power move and then this crazy super kicks. Dude. And then I ain't gonna lie, that Takeshita Raging Fire move, that was nice. That was nice. They put that boy to the floor immediately. Again, though, celebration did not last long because we had Will Ospreay and Swerve show up, attack them boys, the Young Bucks, and challenge them to a match. Apparently, the week prior or something like that, they had challenged these boys and they weren't able to get a definitive answer, so this was a good opportunity for them to do so. They finally gave in and accepted once Will Ospreay added some spice to the sauce and said that him and Swerve will not challenge for the world title for a year if the Bucks were able to win. And they continue to affirm that Swerve and Will Ospreay are not on the same page, because after Will Ospreay said that crazy stuff, Swerve was not happy. So this match led into another tag match where we saw Swerve, Strickland, and Ospreay against DRALISTICO and the Beast or MORTOS. These dudes couldn't even wait for the entrance to finish. They get to fighting really early. And I ain't gonna lie, DRALISTICO and the MORTOS, they were good. They taunted these dudes while they were whooping on them early. But it didn't take too long for Swerve and OSPREAY to then take advantage. They've been there before. We saw this crazy pop-up to Styles Clash to House Call. 1, 2, 3. And after the match, OSPREAY had out his hand. And it seemed like this was going to be a moment where Swerve had to make a decision. And reluctantly, he shakes his hand. These two are teaming up. They're ready for their next match. So apparently it's all building up to it's All In Texas. Again, I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. And then we had the main event match, which was, again, I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to just say Okada versus Ibushi. Okay? I'm just gonna keep it simple. So apparently Mr. Okada, who is the Continental Champion, he took out his next challenger, Kenny Omega, in a week or so prior. And nobody's been able to see this dude, Kenny Omega. He sent him to the hospital. And he's fighting one of his best friends, KOTA Ibushi. So this is a statement match for the Rainmaker, Mr. KAZUCHIKA Okada. The statement match. Not only did I take out Omega, but I'm gonna take out your best friend too. I liked early watching Okada catch his breath. After Ibushi was able to try to get to a handy start, Okada says, hold on. I'm not dealing with this. He runs out of the ring and tries to catch his breath. But it doesn't take long either for Okada to turn the tides, and he starts planting this dude with some huge strikes and, of course, some big-time belly-back suplexes. A little German action. There was a crazy off the top rope elbow drop that led to Okada flipping the crowd off. And so it looked like Okada was going to handily take this win. And he sent Ibushi to the corner with a couple drop kicks. And then starts hitting him with a couple strikes. And we see Ibushi start hulking up. And he starts taking him to the corner. And I'm talking about he takes him to the corner, Floyd Mayweather style. He gets in there, closed fist, jamming up Okada. There was a crazy avalanche tiger driver spot we saw too. Super crazy spot. I literally thought Ibushi had this one with that. I mean, off the top rope. That was crazy, bro. Yet again, Okada's a champ for a reason. And he's able to catch this boy, Ibushi, with the Rainmaker after he hits him with a couple lariats. And then he looks at his lifeless body and decides, nah, that wasn't enough. So the numbers game steps out again. La Familia, the family, arrives, and they get to whooping on this boy. This leads to Kenny Omega returning. And they plant one of the family members for show. And the show ends just that way. All in all, super action-packed night. We saw plenty of matches. Everything was pretty straight, succinct, and to the point. Like I said, I'm a first-time viewer, and I was able to easily pick up what was going on, where the feuds were headed, and it seemed very, very, very obvious because every match referenced it. Every scenario was leading toward who was going to make it to All In 10 days away. And they were in Texas, 10 days away. So I thought it was dope. I'm interested to see what that Texas Death match is going to be looking like when it comes to HANGMAN, PAIGE, and MOXLEY. Everything, like I said, was succinct. Everybody was utilized properly. At first, I didn't know what the heck the announcers were talking about. The commentators, they were all over the place. But as the show went on, like I said, they were able to illustrate exactly what I missed out on and what was going on. So everything was purposeful. We're heading into a main event within 2 weeks that has a bunch of people fighting with a purpose. So I'm excited to see that. And I ain't gonna lie, all in all, AEW episode 300 was very good. Dynamite 300, I enjoyed. Guys on a promo They got straight to the point. They let everybody know where they were at. Everybody was passionate. I felt it. And the crowd, I ain't gonna lie, they savage. Like there was a moment or two earlier too when Moxley got the stuttering in the midst of his promo, and the crowd let him know. So, anyways, really good wrestling. I mean, I'm not like every match was electric. So, I'm cool. Like good show. It made me, you know what I mean? It made me rethink a lot of things. This is the first wrestling show I've watched through and through in probably weeks. I was hooked. I sat down right in front of the couch. I said, oh, this is good. Yeah. Shout out to AEW. I'm tuning in.